Sister Kate here. So I just did a video, kind of be a watchman video on the launching of a intercontinental ballistic missile by North Korea. That is a global emergency watch, etc. And I wanted to alert you all to that in case you hadn't, and urge you all to be prepared for that sort of thing. So now I'm going to bring the focus local. Pastor Joe and I and the Shofarians are in an area that is supposed to get an inordinate amount of rain, 15 inches in a day. And we've been in floods before. We've been floods up in Kansas where 10 inches fell in like a space of 6 or 8 hours, and it significantly flooded that area. Roads closed, waterways overflowing their banks, fields being flooded, animals having to be moved, people having to be moved, people having to leave their homes, their houses flooding, etc. So it's a big deal. And our area, if you can't tell, you see the sky behind me, has already had a pretty good amount of rain this week. So in the next 24 hours, we are expecting more rain. And so we had to take steps. We had to prepare for our own individual emergency and for the weather. It was funny because we had guests visiting, and the one thing that the sister who visited said to me was, I understand if I'm going to be off grid, I need to pay a lot more attention to the weather. And I have a video about that. Yes, you do. You need to be aware of what's coming your way when you live off grid, and your garden, which is your food source, and your animals, which is another food source, could be at risk. Also, here on Shofar Mountain, our roads are important. There's the gravel right there. We paid for that gravel. We paid for the bulldozer to come through and clear this road, which has access all the way up to the entering the property, but also all the way down to where our goats are in their pen. So it's important. And we have to think about what vehicle can make it through and over the roads and how we get down there if we need to. And so part of the flooding stuff, if you look behind me, you should be able to see right back here a ditch. The water runs down the mountain, hits the ditch, goes horizontally for a while, and then it wants to continue back down the mountain. So we have to make sure that where it goes and continues on down the mountain, that it has a way to do that without washing out our roads. And so one of the things Pastor Joe did this afternoon, and what I did earlier in the week, was when I walked by the roads and I saw where the water was running and then needed to head downhill, and instead of going along with the road, shortcut down the hill, I dug little like canal kind of things myself, not very deep, because not strong enough, and I didn't have the right tool to do that. But by doing that and giving the water natural alleyways, canals, whatever, to head downhill, which is the way gravity is going to be pulling it, and the weight of the water is going to push it, we can divert it. We can get it going in directions that are okay for us. And then today, this afternoon, Pastor Joe took a shovel and a pick, and he went back and he redid all those exits for that water. So hopefully tomorrow, and we will video it if it's bad, hopefully tomorrow when all that rain comes, it has a way to get down the mountain without destroying what we've already put in here. And so we have done our own local prepping, have our own local possible emergency situation. We also went and filled up with gas today and got whatever food we didn't have, which was not much. I had already done shopping earlier in the week to have food ready for like the Shabbat and the day after. But this could affect, if this is really bad, we literally cannot go anywhere from the mountain. Like, there's 4 main roads, at least 3 of them are on a river that if it floods, they're just going to close all those roads. So, you know what I mean? We have to plan at least 3 or 4 days where we can't even leave the mountain and have that stuff already ready. And sure, I could take, I can get into our stores and like grind grain, but I don't think we're there yet. I think that kind of thing is for a much more long-term emergency. But certainly having enough food and needs taken care of. Like I don't have to go get my glasses fixed. They didn't break, blah, blah, blah. So I hope this kind of gets you thinking. I hope it lets you know the kind of stuff that you might want to be looking at should something happen in your area, and give you ideas on what you want to do should you need to prepare for things. And you do need to prepare. All right, bless you, shalom, have a good Shabbat.